Welcome Enlighteners, thanks for joining us for our third video. Today we're going to talk about managing your time in your first year as a doctoral student.
So Traci and I were talking a little bit earlier about the difference between EDD and a PhD, and she had a really good comment that I'd like for her to explain to you guys.
So a couple weeks ago my professor put this quote on the board. She said, "The PhD is to understand the world, the EDD is to change the world." Eric Gordon Kirk said that. He's a professor at the University of Edinburgh and has had a big influence in the Scottish education system. So basically a PhD gives you the theoretical foundation and knowledge. It asks questions about how things work, and the EDD program is implementing that how in the classroom, and it's action-based. It's for social change, social action.
So we're going to talk a little bit about time management today, and one of my biggest challenges coming into the program was how to manage my time, when to study, when to read, and when I was going to write. And that was a big adjustment for me personally, just because there was so many things happening in school and so many things happening just in life that you really had to set aside specific times to do things for school and also be able to digest the information that you get from your professors.
It's a lot about finding balance. We received a tip from one of the doctoral students at USC who is in her third year. The beginning of our first year, she said, set aside one night a week where you don't have any expectations of yourself. So after a long day of going to work all day, going directly from work to class, beginning my day around 7 a.m., ending my day at 11 p.m., I was tired. So on Wednesdays, after the day after class, I would not expect myself to do anything Wednesday after work. I would just relax, take it easy, maybe hang out at home with my brother. Then I would set aside one day on the weekend for friends, one day on the weekend for laundry and studying, and then 1 or 2 nights a week when I would do my studying and my writing. And I would spread out in between the week moments and 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, where I could maybe think about what I was learning that week, maybe look at the syllabus, or reach out to one of the persons in my study group, and maybe Toutoule can explain a little bit about the study group we were in together.
Yeah, so a colleague and I, we decided to send an email out to our classmates and see who wanted to join a study group, and luckily Traci and some other folks signed up. So we had 5 people in our study group, and that was perfect because we were able to spread out a lot of the reading and really lean on each other for maybe some comprehension questions. Maybe we had some issues on an assignment. And just that support group was what I really found valuable, that I can know or go to Traci, and I knew that Traci was working on the exact same paper and she was having the exact same challenges with her paper that I was having. And that really helped me just kind of push through some of the challenges and really put my best foot forward, and just know that the things that I was doing and the challenges I was facing was also being faced by some of my other colleagues.
We used a program called box.com where we would upload the articles, and then we would assign each other different articles, and so we would all read the articles, but one person was responsible for really closely analyzing the article and taking key notes. So then we would have these notes that we could use for when we were writing our papers. And we also used WhatsApp to communicate via text message, so we might be texting each other questions at night while we're writing our papers, or I could reference box.com at 2 in the morning when I was wrapping up my paper. So it was really helpful to have the study group. And also, if I saw Toutoule posting his notes on what he was assigned to read, and we self-assigned our readings to each other, I would feel accountable to make sure I posted my notes so that it would be fair. So it's also a way of holding each other accountable, but in a fun, collaborative way.
Yeah, and one of the things about being a doctoral student that people don't really tell you, and it's expected of you, is being a self-regulated learner. That means that you rely on yourself to get everything accomplished. You have to lean on yourself to pretty much understand the information and set aside time to study and do different things. And being in the study group really helped me in the self-regulation process and really digesting the information so I can get the most out of the things that we were learning in class.
Another key thing to do to manage, your first year is get to know your professors. Not, what they like to do or whatever, but know their expectations. And sometimes we would talk in our study group, like, what is she expecting? We would reread the syllabus, we would reread notes from PowerPoint, we would rediscuss conversations we had in class to really understand what our professors were expecting, which then we saw our writing change over the course of our first year because we're meeting the expectations of our professors who they do research writing for a living. And so we're becoming better writers through the dialogue and the conversation and the reflection and then meeting those expectations of our teachers.
And lastly, I think you really need to balance studying with work, with family time and friends. And that way you can really, you don't want to have time away from your wife where she's upset because she doesn't see you, or you have too much time with friends where you don't study, or you're doing stuff at work and you're kind of getting away from family and friends. So it's really that balancing act that you really have to learn how to do. And once you learn how to do that, you can really streamline this process and really get the most out of it. And it becomes less stressful for you.
When I was at work, I was at work. When I was at home, I had to decide if I was going to be studying or doing something with friends or my boyfriend or my family or whatever. So that's your responsibility to manage that time and discipline yourself. So some key things to remember for managing your first year is to set aside time to study, read, reflect, and write. To set aside time for family and friends and fun, and to do nothing and relax. So self-regulation, time management, know your professor, join a study group.
And in honor of USC's first home football game, we're going to do our Southern California chant. All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right. O-S-O-U-T-H-E-R-N-C-A-L-I-F-R-N-I-A Southern California.